Welcome back, my lewd computer dude who likes to eat food in the nude. Do you see what I see? Right fucking there. I'm not the only one seeing this, am I? That's right, that's fucking green stuff. Greenhab now actually has green stuff growing inside. I know it's not weed. I have not yet mastered underwater weed cultivation. Seaweed, in fact, you might call it. I think I figured out what I was fucking up, because I grew grass in here before, but I overwatered it, so it got all muddy and swampy, and I had to dump it out. But then, the second time I tried to grow it, nothing would grow, and I couldn't figure out why. I don't use the heater, because when I turn the heater on, it's too hot, and it cooks the grass, and everything dies in there, and it gets all, like, sweaty. There's condensation on the walls. It seems to be fine without it. This time I watered it just the right amount. I wasn't watering it enough, even though it was the same amount that I used to water it in the winter. And I think the reason is dry, hot, or warm air, on account of it being summer, is being pumped down into there and carrying away moisture faster than usual. And I didn't account for that. I need to account for that and water it a little bit more frequently in larger amounts. Anyways, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? To some demented people. I don't know how high it'll get. The last grass seeds I planted reached just about up into the dome. I'm kind of surprised that the water isn't filtering out too much light for it to grow. I want to show you the little hamster fellow, but he's either in his he's in his fluff fortress behind there. You can see it moving. Sometimes, the first time he did this, the first time he actually lifted up the side of the wheel and crawled under there, gave me a heart attack because I didn't realize he could do that, and it looked like the habitat was empty. And I was like, how did he get out of the habitat without letting any water in? Is he like a little hairy, naked David Blaine? Is he in fact a hamster wizard, as the prophecies of old have foretold for many a century? But no, he just, I don't know if it's the light. I don't think it's the light. I don't think the light is uncomfortable. I think hamsters just like to have little secret hideouts where they feel like nobody can get them. And I should have guessed because he was lifting up the side of it over and over in frustration for days and days until he finally chewed out a little sort of U-shaped, like mouse hole type thing in the side of it they can crawl underneath. Or maybe he's fucking stockpiling guns in there and preparing for revolution. I don't know. I don't know what happens in the hamster fortress. Nobody knows that. Magical mysteries. This is what I'm excited about, though, because I was starting to doubt myself. I'm like, what am I fucking up here? How is it so hard to grow grass? Grass is like a really hardy, survivable plant, and yet somehow I was fucking up the most basic. You live and learn, I guess. I actually want to build a much larger and more ambitious plant habitat. Everybody's in it for the hamsters. There he is. But plants are the really interesting topic because there are these guys in Italy doing what's called the Nemo project, where they have these inflatable, like 10-foot diameter domes, bubble domes underwater, where they raise edible crops. And the crops are then sold at a premium to locals in, I think, fucking Dubai, like Saudi Arabia or something. And because it's underwater, it's at a constant temperature. They don't need to air condition. They physically exclude pests, so no pesticide is needed. The plants self-water because humidity, condensation on the side of the dome trickles down into collectors that then use that to water the plants without any electricity. And the oxygen is replenished and the CO2 is scrubbed passively just by being open to the ocean on the bottom, because any water surface will automatically exchange oxygen and CO2 with any air it's touching until an equilibrium is arrived at. That's how fish get their oxygen, how a fish tank, although bubblers help, but the main thing is that the surface of the water acts kind of like a lung. It absorbs CO2 if there's an excess of it in the air, or releases CO2 if there's a deficiency in the air, and does the same thing with oxygen. So it actually has its own self-replenishing life support without any sort of electronics or machinery, and it self-waters, and its temperature's good. So even though it seems stupid and expensive on the surface, in certain places of the world, like developed desert countries, it starts to make sense to cultivate plants underwater. And it got me thinking, if I built a bubble like that and raised plants, how many plants would I need to raise before it would provide all the oxygen needed for one hamster, plus the gas exchanging property of the water surface? I obviously I wouldn't want to find that out by trial and error by putting animals in there. I would put a CO2 sensor in there, and I would monitor how efficient it is at removing CO2. Maybe put a candle in there to generate some. But if like a 10-foot dome can support a few hamsters, providing they're all male or all female so they don't have babies, it should be pretty much self-supporting, especially if the plants produce something that hamsters can eat. That's probably getting ahead of myself, though. Like, for now, I'm just happy that Greenhab is finally not fucked up and is growing something. I might expand on this. I might build another plant habitat sometime in the coming year, although I shouldn't promise anything until I finish Megahab. I've gone over my time. I think that's it for now.